This is an award for labor and the choices a society makes in trying to figure out jobs and wages. Discrete choice is the hallmark of your work. What are the modern choices we're making in labor in 2021?
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, it's just been great sharing this with Josh Angris and David Carr, because they've been such role models for me, and they've been so fun to work with and have as colleagues. And in addition, kind of Alan Kruger, who's also worked in this area, and all three of them kind of have been working on these really important substantive questions, and having been their colleagues. That motivated me to look at a lot of the methodological issues related to their questions, to make their answers more convincing and more credible, and hopefully more useful for policymakers.
I look, Guido, at the present work here, and the hallmark of this is to take David Card and Alan Kruger over to what Angris and Imbens did in econometrics and math, over to the modern technology of Amazon, Target, and the rest, getting $16, $17, $18 an hour because they can't find labor. From where you sit, what does the marginal wage do to all of America with Amazon going out looking for the marginal employee?
Well, at the moment, I think it's all very much in flux after the pandemic, which has, of course, has had great effects on inequality, and it's had such an unequal impact on different parts of the labor market. And so I think Alan and David's work is still extremely relevant there, and I think the current administration is probably taking it very seriously.
Guido, obviously your work focused on natural experiments and the actual study of empirical data. As we talk about monetary policy and a Federal Reserve that wants to operate on actual realized data versus expectations, is that something that can only really be done with hindsight bias?
No, I think a lot of these methods are very relevant for informing future policies, and a lot of the natural experiment literature has also made inroads into macroeconomics. There's incredibly interesting work going on there. Early on, Christian David Romer did very interesting work there. Nowadays, Emi Nakamura and Don Steinson are doing very interesting work trying to also tease out correlation and causality in macroeconomic settings, where these questions are even more challenging than in the settings with microdata that David, Josh, and I have typically looked at.
Professor Imbens, what is so important here, and I think we'll do just one final question here as you go to your massive media day in celebration of this award. And the final question is, we have a certitude about data. It's in our economics, it's in our academics, it's in Wall Street, it's in everything to do with the financial media. You grew up in what I'm going to call the Bayesian house, which is real doubt over Knightian certitude. Are we too confident about our data that we're trying to guess the future on?
I think that's a super interesting question, and that's something that does occupy a lot of my thinking. We're trying to. I think traditionally we've certainly erred on the side of putting too much faith in the models, and so a lot of the methods I've been developing have been trying to get away from that and trying to make these methods more robust. But there's ongoing challenges in doing so.
Professor, before you run, did you miss the phone call? What time did they call?
Yeah, I missed it. I missed the first phone call. I got the second one. So I was. It'd been a long day before, so I was sleeping well, and I wasn't expecting this.